Everybody, welcome back. So let's continue building our piano. Okay, so in the previous video we looked at steps 1 to 10. Now let's look at step 11 to 20. So once again, this is what we are building, this piano here. Okay, all right, so let's continue. So for step 11, now that the piano element, now we want to target the piano element with an ID selector. So I'll say hashtag piano. I'll set background color to this. Let me just copy it. Okay, and width, I'll set the width property to 992 pixels. I'll set the height property to 290 pixels. All right, so we have our green background for our piano ready. Let's continue. Next up, we want to give it a margin of 80 pixels and then auto, so which means the margin top and bottom will be 80 pixels, the margin left and right will be auto. Okay, as you can see, this centers it nicely. All right, let's continue. So for step 13, we want to start styling the keys. So first, below the piano rule, which we've already done here, okay, we want to target the keys element with a class selector. So we use dot, then keys. Okay, so we'll say background color, and we'll give it this color here. It's going to be a white color. Okay, so it's black rather. All right, so let's also give it a width property of 949 pixels. Then let's give it a height of 180 pixels. All right, so we have a black background here. Let's continue. The next thing we want to do is to give it a padding left with a value of 2 pixels. Okay, padding left with a value of 2 pixels. Okay, next up, we want to move the keys into position by adjusting the piano selector. So let's set the padding property to padding. Okay, so this move in a clockwise direction. So top will be 90 pixels, right will be 20 pixels, the bottom will be 0, and then the left will be 20 pixels as well. Okay, so now as you can see, we have this black in place. Okay, then now we can put the white keys on top. So let's continue. Okay, so next up is time to style the keys themselves. So create a class selector for the key element. This is key singular, so dot key singular, and then we want to set the background color to white. The hex code for white is FFFFFF. Okay, next up, we want to set the position to absolute, relative. Let's set the position to relative. Let's set the width to 41 pixels. Then let's give it a height of 175 pixels. Okay, yeah, as you can see, there we have it. Okay, so give the key a margin of 2 pixels and a float property set to left. So margin 2 pixels. Okay, then let's give it a float property. Let's set it to left. All right, so now as you can see, we have the rest of the white keys arranged nicely on the black background. Okay, so let me okay, let's go on. Okay, now it is time to use the pseudo selectors you prepared for earlier to create the black keys. Okay, so as you can see, we have this black keys here. All right, the selector, this will target the element with the class key, black key. Okay, so let's look at our HTML once again. As you can see, we have some of the divs, they have this just one key element. Okay, sorry, just one class with a value key. Some of them have an extra class with a value black key, so those are the ones we are talking about. Okay, so this will target the element with the class key, black key, and select the pseudo element after these elements in the HTML. Okay, so in the new selector, set the background color to this right here. So first of all, let's write the new selector. So the new selector is going to be this right here. Okay, so we say dot key dot black dash dash key, we'll say after. Okay, now in the new selector, set the background color to, let's set the background color, want to set it to this color right here. Let me just copy it and place it like so. Then we want to set the content property. So we are going to say content property, and we are going to give it an empty string like so. Okay, the content property is used to set or override the content of the element. By default, the pseudo elements created by the before and after pseudo selected are empty, and the elements will not be rendered to the page. Setting the content property to an empty string, which we have here, will ensure the element is rendered to the page while still being empty. Okay, if you like to experiment, try removing the background color property settings. Try removing the background color property and setting different values for the content property, such as this right here. Okay, so let me just copy this. Let's put this here, and then let's remove the background color. Okay, so as you can see, these little heart icons appears on the screen, right? Okay, so now let's add our background color back, and let's change this back to an empty string. Or if you just write hello, let me also take this away. You see, we have hello appearing on the keys. All right, so I hope you get what the content property does. Okay, so back to how it was initially. All right, so for step 19, what we want to do is want to give our black keys a position property. Let's set it to absolute. Let's give it a left property of negative 18 pixels. Okay, now for step 20, let's set some width and height. So for the width, we are going to give it 32 pixels. And then for the height property, we want to set it to 100 pixels, like so. Right, so there we have it. We have our black keys placed nicely on top of our screen. Okay, so let's continue. Alright, so let's end this one here with this video, and let's continue from step 21 to 30 in the previous video. In the next video, sorry. So see you in the next video. Alright.